Good morning, everybody. It's good to see everyone here this morning. You already know what it is. You already know what you're here for. You know what I'm here for. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another iteration of Solo Leveling. Let me just start off by saying the last chapter of Solo Leveling was so amazing. Oh my goodness, it was so amazing. Jin raising himself back. His commanders, Beru and Igris, both coming in. One, Beru, destroying the giant asteroid of ice that the Frost Monarch created in one single move. Then Igris protecting the man who was protecting Jin. And Igris actually speaking! And then as soon as Jin just walks out of the imprisonment ice he was in, he just says, "Where did the Beast Monarch go? Who dares to leave without my permission?" And you can just see the cloak of power on him as the Shadow Monarch. And the Frost Monarch is literally sweating bullets because he is not ready for this beatdown that he is about to receive. Let us go ahead and start. This is such a good chapter, I'm sorry. Let us go ahead and get started with chapter 165. And then the first panel we get. Also, Cohagen, thank you for letting everyone know where I'm reading this from. So just in case people are wondering where I'm reading it from, actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and pin what you have here so people can know whenever they drop in. So that way I pinned it where I'm reading this from, Ashita Scans, as you guys know. Cohagen is so kind enough to put it in chat for all of you, and I have it pinned now, so anyone who drops in can know exactly where to go, so that way, you know, people don't have to ask like they always do, so you guys are ready. But the first panel we get is just an utter look of fear on the Frost Monarch. And then the first thought in his head is, a wall which I couldn't even imagine overcoming. And he's just looking at Jin, and Jin has all this energy just ebbing and oozing and just emanating from him. The difference in power between me and him is just too significant. And beforehand, the Frost Monarch brought out his ultimate trump card and said, beforehand, the Frost Monarch was able to keep up with Jin, and Jin couldn't land any real blows on him. Now the tables have turned so much that the Frost Monarch can't even fathom the distance between the power between himself and Jin. That's just how far gone Jin is right now. And it shows Igris and Beru just kneeling in front of Jin as they're just standing there waiting for him to give a command. It's all like, Master. Because I did say I was going to give Igris like this noble knight voice, like, Master, please give us a command. Like, Igris is just there, and then this aura, this massive orb of purplish, darkest energy just emanates from Jin immediately, and it starts to envelop the entire area that he's in. Oh my goodness! Okay, so you know how he has like a Monarch's authority or the Monarch field where he can just envelop a certain area around him? This dude just enveloped all of Korea. It just went out from Jin, and then it just covered a street. Then it shows it outside of the city, and it's covering the city. Then it shows the world! And you can see his sphere of influence from space! And it's so large, it not only covers all of Korea, but it also shows the ginormous gate that's above Seoul right now. But it is so large, it completely covers everywhere. Not the whole world, but pretty much all of Korea right now. Never mind! It's covering the world! It's covering the world! Never mind! It's not just Korea. It's extending out to the entire planet. This monarch's domain is extending out from just Jin to Korea. It started at Jin. It started at the city. It started in all of Korea. And now his entire domain is extending out to the entire world. And then Jin just says, "Found you." And then there's narration. Oh no! Was he searching for the Beast Monarch this whole time? This dude extended his domain through the entire world to find the Beast Monarch. I'm guessing. It doesn't say yet, but let's keep going. There's narration. The Frost Monarch had a feeling, an opening, an opportunity that will never come again. And then the Frost Monarch decides to gather up power. Oh, you big idiot. You big, frosty, pointy-eared, frozen idiot. Dude. And then he thinks, although there exists a power gap between us, for him to let his guard down with his enemy right in front of him, there's a reason for that. If I miss this opportunity, the only thing waiting for me is an inevitable death. Dude, that's what's waiting for you regardless. And he gathers up as much power as he can into his three-pronged halberd that he has. I must end everything with this single strike. And then it's like the Frost Monarch is channeling Ulquiorra's Lanza del Relampago, and then causes his entire halberd to be imbued with all of his power, and then sends it careening towards Jin. It shows Jin, but Jin is not moving, hands in his pockets. It shows the halberd getting even closer to Jin. Jin just pulls his hand up and, like Vasto Lorde Ichigo, just catches it with his hand and destroys it. He doesn't just destroy it. He just puts his hand up lightly, and the whole halberd just crumples from its own force. There's a massive explosion around Jin from the force of the blow, but he's not moved. He just puts his hand up. Not even like Neo puts his hand up to stop bullets. He just lightly puts his hand up, just, loosely open palm, and it just stops at his hand. And then it crumples like the trucks did when they crashed into each other when they were trying to take out the Keymaker and Morpheus in the Matrix Reloaded. It just crumples underneath its own force and just stops. And Frost Monarch obviously thinks, how? So this is the power of the Shadow Monarch. The power of one of the strongest monarch, and the fragment of brilliant light. And then Jin just says, I'll save you for last. Wait here until I finish taking care of the beast. He was looking for the Beast Monarch! Yo, when Jin says, who dares to leave without my permission? The fact that the Beast Monarch left was the most disrespectful thing that Jin could think of right now. He has all the power, the absolute power of the Shadow Monarch right now. And the Beast Monarch just leaving and dipping, that was the ultimate disrespect he showed to Jin. When Jin extended his Monarch's domain to the entire world, he was looking for the Beast Monarch because the Beast Monarch decided to leave without asking Jin first. Wait here patiently until I finish taking care of the beast. And then it shows some far-off jungle someplace with a rip in a dimension cutting through the forest right now, and it's obviously the Beast Monarch just trying to make his way through, and he's thinking, the aura of death is starting to close in on me. I regret needlessly arguing with the Frost Monarch, since it caused me to run away a bit too late. But now that things have come to this, I need to quietly hide here until the King of Dragons comes back. And then, as the Beast Monarch is, here's the thing. This dude thinks he's safe. But as he's walking, it shows a shadow, a sentient shadow, just starting to appear behind the Beast Monarch as he walks through this forest. And he looks in that direction, but he doesn't see anything. This aura. Don't tell me. And ooh! Yo! Jin used Shadow Exchange and is directly behind the Beast Monarch. Bruh! Yeah! He's right behind the Beast Monarch. And he's just standing there. And the Beast Monarch is thinking, the air is soaked with the smell of death. The overwhelming power gap, where I can't win, nor run away. The fear of strength I feel from my experiences. Lower your head, obey him, is what my instincts are warning me to do. And immediately, the Beast Monarch falls face first and kneels before Jin. This dude who had no problem causing a massive massacre in the city of Seoul. After realizing that Jin is right there, he immediately bows his head in subservience. And then he says, "O Shadow Monarch, I, the King of the Beasts, do not wish to fight against you. Please forgive me for my sinful acts and accept me as one of your allies. In the near future, the King of Dragons will set a foot on this land with his soldiers, and I, along with my beast army, shall assist you then." And then Jin just says, "Very well." And then the Beast Monarch is silently smiling to himself, thinking, he likes it? How foolish. He isn't the real deal. If he was the real deal, then there would be no way he would forgive me, especially after I betrayed him once and tried to get rid of his vessel, causing his advent onto this land. I bought time thanks to the humans' foolish forgiveness and affection. I just need to hold out until the King of Dragons gets here. When that time comes, I will rip apart your corpse into pieces. The Beast Monarch, you have such lofty ambitions right now, but you have no idea what you're messing with right now. Let's see what transpires. And then the Beast Monarch says, I shall serve you with loyal. And before he finishes, Jin says, but before that, we need to take care of each other's debts. I have 5 scars from your claws that pierced my heart. If you can survive 5 attacks from me, I will forgive you. Ooh! Payback in the most gruesome way possible. I have 5 scars from your claws that pierce my heart. If you can survive 5 attacks from me, I will forgive you. And the dude has the most Sosuke Aizen looking face I have ever seen Jin have. Like his eyes are just glowing with power, even more than they have before. And this proposition brings utter shock to the Beast Monarch. Unsurprisingly. And then the Beast Monarch flares up with power, saying, You dare mock me, the King of Beasts! And then he just goes full feral. Like he was like human beast-like, but now he's just gone full wolf. Like on all 4s and everything. His entire body's changed into that of a gigantic wolf. The wolf that we've seen in the past in the flashbacks, he's changed into that now. Although my life will end here, you will not leave unscathed. And after turning into this massive giant wolf, Jin is just standing there and summoned one of Kamish's daggers. With one of his hands in it, you want to know how scary Jin is right now? When he doesn't even bother to bring both hands out of his pockets. He only brings he only brings out one, and he pulls up Kamish's dagger and holds it in his hand. And remember, Kamish's daggers scale with the power of the user. So if they were already doing significant damage before Jin assumed all of the power of the Shadow Monarch, now that Jin has the absolute power, Kamish's daggers are just full on broken right now. And then it shows Jin dashing from the spot he's in faster than the eye can see. And it shows Jin literally channeling his inner Minato Namikaze. And it shows him just instantly, in a flash of black lightning, slashing through the legs of the Beast Monarch. And I never noticed this. Not only does he slice through the Beast Monarch, but he slices through every tree in the forest that was in his path. With just one swipe, he took off the leg of the Beast Monarch. And then Jin says, 4 more left. Ooh, Jin, bad! And now, all of a sudden, there's an explosion back in Seoul. And there's the Frost Monarch thinking, I don't know about that ant who is healing humans. Because he's, thank you, Min Byung-gu, Gu. I actually remember his name. It took a while. But there's actually an explosion in the Beast, and the Frost Monarch is looking on as Beru is healing Thomas Andre right now. I don't know about that ant who is healing humans, but this one is certainly an issue. And he just narrowly dodges an attack from Igris, who's airborne, fighting the Frost Monarch right now. I've seen it before. The Knight of Death, one of the 2 wings of the Shadow Army. And Igris, the Frost Monarch knows Igris. He already knows of Igris. Igris' name is known throughout the Monarchs itself. That just shows you how bad Igris is. The Knight of Death, one of the 2 wings of the Shadow Army. Igris! And Igris with the Demon King Longsword is fighting the Frost Monarch right now. And he's chasing after him. The Frost Monarch is running from Igris! Now that it's able to use its full power is quite bothersome. They can regenerate as long as the Shadow Monarch still has mana, but I can't recover the mana I use for transformation. And Igris is still fighting the Frost Monarch with him saying, don't even think about doing something so meaningless. You think you can hold out much longer against me? And Igris puts his sword down, and as his cape opens up, Jin comes through the cape like it's a portal. Yo! Now, if Jin is coming back to Seoul using Igris' giant cape as like his own personal doorway, that means the Beast Monarch's dead. But Jin just comes through Igris' cape like that is the most boss way to enter in any area. Sure, you have doors. Sure, you have portals. Sure, you can walk out of shadows. But when you have your own soldier open up his cape and you walk out of that cape, this chapter's so good! And then it shows Jin walking through, dropping what appears to be the same claws or fangs of the Beast Monarch, still covered in blood, directly in front of him, with the Frost Monarch saying, that's... And yep, Beast Monarch is dead! The Beast Monarch is dead! Jin says, the Beast Monarch is dead. And the Frost Monarch is thinking, he killed the Beast Monarch in the few minutes that he was gone? The Plague Monarch, the Beast Monarch, and the Frost Monarch. The deaths of these 3 monarchs will serve as a warning to the other monarchs. You fool! And then the Frost Monarch brings up multiple icicles to try and shoot at Jin, but Jin immediately throws Kamish's dagger into his shoulder before the Frost Monarch can even react to it. And then Jin does it again. And then it shows the Frost Monarch trying to hit Jin with an ice beam, and Jin is directly in front of the Frost Monarch and just covers his mouth. And then he takes Kamish's dagger in his hand and slashes the Frost Monarch point blank with such force that it kicks up it just sends shockwaves through the wind itself. And then Jin just says, "The beast died on the 4th strike. I wonder how much longer you can survive." Wow. Jin was going to see if the Beast Monarch could survive 5 strikes, but the Beast Monarch died in 4. And then it shows the Frost Monarch, after having been slashed so severely through the chest, his eyes are lighting up, his body starts to crack all over, and he's just screaming out. And then the once blue skin of the Frost Monarch shatters, and we see normal skin underneath. And then the Frost Monarch's body starts to crumble away. Gogun-hee, you have been avenged! And then it just shows the Frost Monarch's body just crumbling to dust in the wind. Jin has killed 3 monarchs! And then it just shows the city of Seoul from a skyline. And then we have Beru speaking. My liege. He says, my liege. My liege. And then Jin says, what about the person who protected me earlier? He disappeared all of a sudden. But Jin sees the dagger that this individual was using. Now, I know people can't really hold things to themselves, so I get a good feeling of who this person is, because people just can't keep things to themselves in comments. But I'm saying this now. I prefer if the chapters tell me who these people are. You're not doing me any favors, and I'm not gonna, be thankful to you if you spoil something before the chapter shows it. Just letting you guys know. But the dagger from the dude that was there before is there on the ground, and he picks it up. And then we see handprints, bloodied handprints on the wall. And it's the guy, and he's just next to a destroyed building, just slumped over. And he's breathing heavily. And then his body starts to crumble a little bit. Like the corner of his hand starts to crumble a little bit. And then he thinks, I guess this is the consequence of receiving God's power with a mere human body. It's fine. This is how it should be. And then the same dagger that he left on the ground gets tossed, gets kicked over to him. And Jin is right in front of him saying, did you really think I wouldn't know if you left like that? Why did you leave without a word again? Dad. And that's the end of the chapter. And this is the chapter that confirms that it's Jin's father. This is the chapter that I wanted. We have a full-on confirmation! But Kyushu, we told you all before, we knew it was Jin's dad. I don't care if you guys told me. I want the chapters to explain it. That's why I'm so adamant about spoilers and everything, is because I like to find out through the chapters themselves. This reminds me of when we were about to find out that Toby was Obito, and a friend of mine just spoiled me in a text message before I could even read the chapter the day the chapter came out in Naruto. And I'm like, dude, I wanted to find out during the chapter. He's all like, oh, you already knew it was Obito. It's the principle of the thing. I'd rather the chapter explain it to me and have my confirmations confirmed or theories confirmed, rather than people feel like they're doing me a favor by telling me ahead of the chapters. That's why I've been so adamant about these spoilers. But that's the end of the chapter, everybody. Whew. So much happened in this chapter, and it was good too. Now I can read what you guys have said. Good morning, everybody. Electric OV Marpapo. Senpai Sama, Danny Moondragon, We Disney. Disney, what you doing in here? Igris Designs looks good. He really looks like a Death Knight. Seriously! So who converted Igris into a Shadow Soldier first, Jin or Ashbourne? I feel like since the Frost Monarch knows of Igris beforehand, since Jin teleported to the Beast Monarch without a shadow, does it mean he doesn't need Shadow Exchange anymore? I mean, that might be what it means. Chapter was hyped. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday! All right, Ajani, you did say yesterday that today's your birthday. Happy birthday, Ajani. And a good chapter comes out on the same day. The next chapter is hype, I guarantee. I'm looking forward to it. So, let's just talk about, well, actually, it looks a little bit dark in here. So let me do this real quick. Let me get some light in here because it's raining and the light tends to fluctuate, at least the natural light. I need to get myself my own desk light so you guys can see me better. But let's just talk about all the things that happened in this chapter. So, first and foremost, Jin not only defeats the Beast Monarch effortlessly, but he also defeats the Frost Monarch effortlessly. Like, Jin's power has majorly skyrocketed to the point where Igris, one of his own commanders, was more than enough to contend with the Frost Monarch himself. The Frost Monarch trying to deal with Jin was like me playing Skyrim for the first time and then running into a person in Daedric armor on legendary difficulty. That's how big the power gap was. So, of all the things that happened in this chapter, like the fact that he used his monarch's domain to cover the entire world just to find one person, and he found him instantly and teleported over to him. From our recollection, he never implanted a shadow in the Beast Monarch. So the fact that he just teleported directly over to the Beast Monarch without the need for that, Jin has become overpowered now. He's no longer bound by the player limitations. You know, like, oh, your skills have a cooldown, or you need to wait this amount of time in order for you to use these skills. Jin is past that now. And apparently he's no longer limited to having to need a shadow in order to teleport to where a person is. Because it clearly didn't show that he implanted a shadow in the Beast Monarch himself in order for him to teleport all the way into the jungle tropical area that he was in. The Beast Monarch being the complete... Here's the thing. The Beast Monarch was smart to leave when he had the chance, but at the same time, that was still bad. Because Jin found it disrespectful for the Beast Monarch to leave without Jin's permission. Like, who dares to leave without my permission? Like, the fact that the Beast Monarch left the battle was more insulting to Jin than the Frost Monarch doing anything. And the fact that Jin said, I'm gonna save you for last. I'm gonna deal with the Beast Monarch first. In mere minutes, people, in mere minutes, he killed the Beast Monarch. You gave me 5 scars, including one that pierced my heart. So if you can survive 5 strikes from me, then I'll allow you to be my ally. Because the thing is, the Beast Monarch was kind of smart and not smart. He was kind of smart and not smart to leave Jin, but also incredibly stupid to say, like, well, I'm gonna ally with you, and then think in his mind, I'm gonna betray you as soon as the King of Dragons comes. And then I'll rip you apart, piece by piece. And Jin is all like, so, you gave me 5 scars. How about, if you can survive 5 strikes from me, then I'll consider you an ally. And the Beast Monarch is all like, what? I mean, I know how powerful he is. So if he does anything to me, I'm not going to survive. Then he goes full feral wolf form. And then Jin just using one hand, one dagger from Kamish, which, you know, scales with his power. He just slashes through one leg of the Beast Monarch. And apparently, in those minutes, I'm guessing he pretty much just eviscerated the Beast Monarch, because when Igris is chasing after the Frost Monarch and stops, because during this whole time, Beru is healing everybody. Beru just healed Thomas Andre, so Thomas Andre is good. But Igris just pulls up his cape, and then Jin just walks through it like an utter boss, and says like, well, the Beast Monarch only survived 4 strikes, so now it's time for you. And the Frost Monarch is thinking like, wait, only minutes have passed. Only minutes have passed since he's been gone. Has he killed the Beast Monarch in that amount of time? And then then the Frost Monarch is in such desperation. He tries to build up all of his power. He tries to channel his inner Ulquiorra with a Lanza del Relampago in a Frost version of Lanza del Relampago, and tries to throw it at Jin, and Jin just stops it. It doesn't even pierce his hand. It doesn't even make him move. The spear just crushes itself under its own power from just stopping at Jin, when a slightly unstoppable force meets the very pinnacle of immovable object. It just crushed itself under Jin, and then Jin... Actually, you know what? We gotta go back. We gotta go back! We gotta go back. We gotta go all the way back. See, when Jin comes back, he walks through, and it shows apparently either the claws of the Beast Monarch or the fangs of the Beast Monarch, with him saying the Beast Monarch is dead, and the power that's just flowing off of him is like a full-on... He doesn't have an actual cape. It's just the energy, the Shadow Monarch energy is coming off of him, and it forms a cape. That's how awesome it is. Like, think Aku, when his body looks like it's cloaked in flames and whatever, but that's exactly what's coming off of Jin. And the Frost Monarch is thinking, he killed the Beast Monarch, in the few minutes he was gone. And then Jin says, the Plague Monarch, the Beast Monarch, and the Frost Monarch. The deaths of these 3 monarchs will serve as a warning to the other monarchs. And the Frost Monarch tries to channel as much power as he can, but Jin just throws a dagger into his shoulder, throws both of Kamish's daggers into his shoulders, and stops him. And as the Frost Monarch tries to channel into a full-on ice beam, Jin just appears directly in front of him, point blank, and stops him from even using it. And then he takes one of Kamish's daggers back, and then slashes the Frost Monarch with such force that it not only kills him, but also causes him to shed the frozen outer shell he had and reveal the human vessel he had underneath. And in that process, the human body that belonged to the Frost Monarch begins to fade away from just that one strike. Now, mind you, we've seen the Frost Monarch be stabbed multiple times by Jin's daggers, but just one massive slash, it literally just cleaved his body in itself, and he fades into nothingness, and the sparkles of his remains just go into the air of Seoul as the sky is purple now. And then Beru comes up saying, my liege, and then Jin says, what about the person who protected me earlier, and Beru says he disappeared all of a sudden. And he finds the dagger, and I'm guessing he used the energy off of that dagger to track down where his dad was, because his dad is bleeding, like he's got cut in his arm. The moment he got pierced by one of the Frost Monarch's weapons, he's still been bleeding ever since. More than likely, Jin will probably use Beru to heal him, but as he's sitting here, and it shows that his body is starting to very slowly start to come apart in pieces, because apparently he's exhausted his power of using the power of one of the rulers. He thinks, I guess this is a consequence of receiving God's power with a mere human's body, and it shows the cracks that start to appear along his face as well. And as his body slowly but surely starts to fade, he says, it's fine, this is how it should be. And then as he's laying there with his body very, very slowly, you know how everyone faded away extremely fast after Thanos snapped everybody in Infinity War, but Spider-Man was the only one who lasted the longest because of, emotional reasons. Jin's dad is taking the longest to fade away, so more than likely this is going to allow him to, you know, speak to Jin if this is the last moment. But I don't know about that, and don't confirm anything if Jin's dad dies or fades away after this conversation. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know it. I don't want to see it at all. It's not hard. Don't do it. But Jin says, "Did you really think I wouldn't know if you left like that? Why did you leave without a word again?" And it shows Jin walking towards his father, and it also shows the silhouettes of the scars that the Beast Monarch left on him. And the last words we have from Jin is, "Dad, why did you leave without a word again, Dad?" And that's the end of the chapter. Overall, this was a fantastic. This is such a fantastic chapter. Oh, I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for the next one. And we don't get another one until next week, but overall, this was a fantastic chapter, and I enjoyed every single second of it. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to see my reaction to Solo Leveling. I don't want to go far off into what I'm expecting to appear in the next chapter, because you guys know I'm reading the manhwa chapters. I'm not reading the light novel chapters. So if you're reading the light novel right now, don't talk to me about anything that's going on in the light novel. You know, read this. My money is Jin will save him. Somehow, what does Daddy Wu have been doing the past 10 years that he has been gone? I mean, he clearly came out of a portal when we first saw him, and he, I guess, was speaking in the language of the monsters, so maybe he was fighting monsters? I don't know. We'll just have to see when the next chapter comes out next week. So I'm looking forward to where this story goes from here. I want to thank everyone who was respectful enough to not spoil me on anything major in this chapter. And I really hope that we keep that mentality going as these next chapters pop up. But what I do know is that we only have one more arc after this, because here's the thing. I only looked up the arc names, and that's it. I didn't read the description of these arcs. We are currently in the Monarch Battle or Monarch War arc, and then the one after one is called the Final Battle arc, and then there's one called the Epilogue. I don't know the details of any of those, but we're getting slightly closer and closer to the end of this story, but I feel like we still have a ways off to go. But so far, I've been enjoying everything about this. But once again, thank you for not spoiling me on anything major, and not spoiling me on anything minor, or anything in between. I just don't want spoils, because frankly, I would rather these chapters, when I read these and see these color pages and everything, I rather they tell the story. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. But overall, this was a fantastic chapter, and I am looking forward to the next one. I'm not going to keep you here any longer than I already have. All I know is that Jin is just so far broken that I am actually quite scared if anyone in their right mind would even dare try to attack Jin right now. Especially now. Whew! You got to be insane to try and do that right now. But I'm looking forward to the next chapter. So, I really thank every single one of you for stopping by and looking at my reaction to Solo Leveling today. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. Oh, you guys don't know how much I enjoy this. You have no idea. I love every single bit of this, and I'm looking forward to the next one.